We have another shocking elimination in this year's 2020 NHL Playoffs. The Pittsburgh Penguins have just been eliminated by the Montreal Canadiens in 4 games, with a final score of 2-0 in Game 4 to seal the deal for Montreal. And I don't really know what to say other than wow. If you are a fan of Montreal, I think you're the only people that could say you believed in this happening, because I liked Montreal, but I just didn't think that they had enough to push themselves above Pittsburgh, and I'm genuinely shocked, but honestly, I'm very happy to see it at the same time. Montreal in this series just I literally just got off you know what? Let's back up a little bit. Instead of jumping into this, I want to talk about something ironic that just happened. I just got off the phone with my dad, who's a huge Montreal fan, calling him after the game, and I didn't believe that Montreal ever had a chance, but he told me one thing. He said that he thought that Montreal could outplay the Penguins on one factor and one factor alone, that being the god himself, Carey Price. If Carey Price, he said, is on his game, there's no reason why we can't beat them. I think our goaltending is superior in every way, and if everything is clicking in that category, we can win. That was his fan coming from a Montreal perspective, and he was right. Carey Price was a god in this series, and not only was he a god, but Montreal really played to their strengths and really took advantage of the Penguins when they needed to and capitalized off of really good opportunities. I think it's fantastic and kind of poetic that a really horrible contract given out to a pretty solid depth guy in Brandon Tanev kind of ended up looking bad again in this year's playoffs, because he turns it over on that goal and causes the loss, really, you know? And that's just crazy to think about, because I don't think anyone really thought the Montreal Canadiens this year would be in a situation to go to the first round of the playoffs or even advance in a playoff round, because let's be honest, this was kind of the first round. It's crazy to think about, and honest to God, I'm really happy for it, because Montreal is a team that I think is, like I was talking about earlier on past live streams, I think Montreal is one of those teams that this could be huge for them. If Montreal doesn't make it out of the next round, but they even win a few games, the development for these young players and the confidence it gives them is huge going into next season whenever that starts up. I think this could be a game-changing development in how Montreal progresses as a team moving forward in the next season. I think this could be huge for them, and it's crazy that they actually were able to beat the experienced Penguins and move on with such an inexperienced team. Shay Weber was a god on the series as well, showing his experience and really leading, and not to mention the most underrated pickup of free agency I think it's starting to turn out into is Ben Sharat, because boy oh boy do I miss him on the Jets, and it really shows on our blue line, and it really shows on their blue line how much of a difference he can really make. He's a really good, impactful player at a really cheap deal who can bounce anywhere when you need him to in your lineup, and an overall great player and a great pickup for them, and it really showed when they needed to. Ben Sharat had a fantastic series and pretty good season overall. Another player, ironically, the Jets used to have, Joel Armia, another great player, and this showing his playoff worth and playoff experience from when he was on the Jets back in 2018. Really, really good showing for him there. Just a lot of good overall talent playing to their best that they can in this series. Nick Suzuki being a overall beast for Montreal is just another example of young talent they've been able to assemble to put them and progress themselves into this quick almost reload from being an okay competitive team to now being bad to then being almost really up and rising through the ranks as a young team. And it's really exciting to see, because I honest to God did not really have that much faith in Bergeron's vision for this team. I like the talent he assembled, but there were just holes that I thought were too great and weren't enough to really progress them into the next stages. I thought they were kind of like the Winnipeg Jets for a few years, and a few other teams like the Canucks for a few years there, just in limbo. They have the ability to be good, but they just haven't taken that step yet, and that's where I thought that he was leading them. But this has just really opened my eyes to the possibilities that this could be huge for their progression and development as a young team. If they could even make it to the second round this year, can you imagine that? Or even as a dark horse contender, can we even consider them that now? Can we legit call the Montreal Canadiens a dark horse for the Cup this year in the East? Can they do it? I think it's fair to say that there is a possibility after watching them play in this first round that they could be a dark horse. Anything can happen in this year's playoffs. If you don't agree with that, I think this really should open up your eyes to that thought. There have been a lot of series so far where a lot of play has happened where we really didn't expect it to. You know, I didn't think that the Coyotes would be able to beat Nashville. I thought they would make it competitive, but I didn't think that they'd be able to beat them. They just beat them. What else can happen? We don't know. The Jets are out too. A lot of that, they were supposed to be a competitive team and they played like bad. They played really bad. Injuries and all. So what is happening is that is basically what happened last year. We have no idea. the unexpectedness in this year's playoffs is off the charts, and that is going to continue on into the next few rounds, especially as more and more of these bubble teams that we had no idea would make it into the playoffs actually winning somehow is huge. Imagine if Chicago is able to win in the game today. This video being recorded before Chicago plays. That's a possibility. Like, there's so much things right now that relates to how this is an impactful series, and honestly, just how well they played overall. And it's great to see, and I'm very happy for it. I love these upsets, and I couldn't be happier that Montreal was able to knock them off. The only thing that makes me a little nervous now is that the thinking of Lafreniere playing with Malkin and freaking Crosby is a little scary, but let's hope that that isn't the reality we're going to have to face next season. But other than that, I think it was a fantastic series, one of the most entertaining ones so far of this year's playoffs, and it's great to see another Canadian team advancing. Pittsburgh, you had a good year, good run, but sorry that it had to end this way, but it's nice to see Montreal, a team that no one really expected to do that much, playing really well and showing what type of stuff can happen in the NHL playoffs. You never know. It's the most unexpected, unique playoff experience, I think, in almost any professional sport league. There's nothing that really comes close to it. And I think for that, this is just going to be a great year's playoffs, and overall it was a great series. Happy they won. Let me know your thoughts on this series, how you guys enjoyed it, and all that stuff down in the comment section below. This wasn't too analytically driven, but let me know your thoughts in the analytically department down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear it from diehard Montreal fans. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed the content, if you're enjoying anything in my channel and stuff like that, definitely consider dropping a subscription. It means a lot to me. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Peace out, take care, and I will see you in the next video.